Welcome to the third episode of the Unacknowledged Mommy's Podcast, formerly known as Mommy's Anonymous. As I stated earlier, we had to change that name to the Unacknowledged Mommy's Podcast because this is the place where we can gather and support each other and hold each other up and hug each other and love on each other, even out of the darkness, because we are in the darkness when we don't have any contact with our children. This is the end of the first month of 2025, and I was hoping that we would be back in communication by now. However, I feel like I have a little better understanding of the technical part of this podcast now, and I can refocus my energies on the purpose of the podcast, which is to support each other while our children are not speaking to us. So I received notification of no contact to commence more than 9 months ago now. At first I was texting like crazy, asking, what is it? What did I do? What can I do to fix it? I was pretending that we were talking like we had been talking the week before, once or twice a day. So when she told me that we weren't going to be talking anymore, I didn't accept that. I was hoping that I could break that really, really fast. So I was texting, but now that I read that excerpt last week to you at the second podcast, where the young lady says, my mom is texting me like we're still talking, and we haven't talked in 5 years. Well, that hit me hard because that's how I was texting. And I think it sort of made me draw back a little bit. But I also know that this podcast has sort of been like a cane for me. The cane has replaced the podcast, has replaced me pining to speak to my daughter on a daily basis, and I've put my efforts into supporting other mothers who are suffering like I am because my daughter decided not to speak to me. I have come to realize that I've been using this podcast to ease my pain, to replace the conversations and thoughts that I would be having with her. Which brings me back to, how do I repair the relationship if she refuses to talk to me? If her refusal says she doesn't want to repair the relationship. She has responded via text to life-changing questions, medical concerns about her nieces or nephews. So I do know that she's still alive. That's good. But now I'm concerned. How long can this go on where we're not talking? I must say it makes my heart glad when I hear from my younger daughter that she communicated via text with the no-contact daughter. Sometimes it's about one of the streaming platforms that we share. Sometimes it's about a decision that I have decided to make. And when we throw it at her in a text, sometimes she responds. So that is a positive. But on the other hand, how long can we go on without speaking to each other? And we're missing out on those events that make changes in our life. At any rate, I want you guys to know that we are here for you. That is the purpose of this podcast. So please reach out to us. Let us know how you're feeling. I'm talking about the moms. Let us know how you're feeling. Also the dads. Now, lately what I've noticed when it came to parental alienation, the last two situations I've been privy to have been based on the parents deciding not to have contact with their children. And it has been because of the sexual preferences the children have chosen. I think it's just as bad when your parent decides not to talk to you because of a decision that you made. But for these children, they do have another community that they can go to and be embraced by. This podcast is our community, the mothers whose children have decided not to speak with them. And this is a community where we can support each other, because who do we talk to about this? Do we talk to other mothers? But we're all spread out, and it's not something that we actually bring up. Sometimes you don't even know that we have children because it's been so long since they've taken the time to communicate with us. Now, that is very, very hard for me. When we were talking, and I did know so many moms that were struggling, I almost felt a sense of shame that I had succeeded in repairing my relationship with my daughter, and they haven't had the opportunity to do so. But on the other hand, that didn't last long, and I'm right back with the mothers who would like to have relationships with their children, but have been denied by their children. Listen, welcome to the Unacknowledged Mommies Podcast. Thank you for listening. Tune in for the next episode, and please find a way to let me know that you're out there and that you want to be a part of this podcast. Thank you. Have a good day.